Okay, one of the first things that I wanted to talk about is how to set up Max for our projects. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is up here at the top, you can kind of see there's a little floppy and there's some undo arrows and redo arrows, but right to the right of that is a button called Project Folder. You want to establish your folder right off the bat. So we want to click that, go into somewhere that you want to save. I'm going to go to my drive here. I'm going to go in this temp folder, and I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm just going to call this one week 1. Okay, so then I'm going to set that. Then I'm going to go ahead and save the file. So save as. Now that will automatically put us inside of our scenes folder. So inside of that week 1, it made a set of folders, and we're going to save it, and it'll go inside the scenes folder, and we're going to call this week 1. Now what it actually did was when I created that week 1 and it made me a set of folders in here, okay, to keep me organized. And this is the way you want to do this. All of your scenes will be saved inside of this scenes folder. So if I go in there, we can see that's my scene week 1 that I saved in there. The other thing that's really good to know is your auto backup right here, because it's going to save auto backup files in here. 3dsMax automatically backs your files up every so often, so that's where they'll be in case it crashes on you and you haven't saved. You can go back in there. Some other things that we want to do is we want to set Mental Ray as our default renderer. So you're going to want to go into this rendering tab right up here and go to Render Setup. And then your Render Setup tab will come up. Make sure you're on the Common tab, and then place the little hand right here, and let's scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says Assigned Renderer. Let's open that up. And then right here where it says production, yours will say the default scanline render is what it will say. And what we want to change it to is the NVIDIA Mental Ray. That's the renderer we're going to use. It's an advanced physical based renderer, and that's what we're going to be using. So you need to set that as the renderer. I would tell you to also go ahead and hit this button, Save as Defaults, and that way as we make new scenes, it'll automatically configure that for us. Another thing we want to do is right here is our output size. Now this defaults to 640 by 480. That's an old, 1990s file format. That's a 3:4 format like old TVs. We don't really want to be using that. So just click right here where it says custom for your output size, and it gives you some custom settings in here. Go down here at the bottom, the one that says HD TV, and then this will make us 16:9 like current TV screens and computer screens. Let's don't use the top one though. Let's go 1280 by 720, so we'll be rendering a little bit smaller. And so this is how we want to set up this particular window, and so you can go ahead and close that. Now another thing we want to do is go to our customize window and go into our preferences. In this window, right here under General, you have levels of undo 20. Let's change that to 100. So we have plenty of undos. Another thing right here, right next to it is a tab, Files. Let's go into that. And down here is your auto backup. And it's only going to save 3 files, and then it'll start overwriting itself, and it saves every 5 minutes. So let's change this to 20 files, so we'll have 20 versions. So it's every 5 minutes it's going to save a new version, and it'll save 20 versions before it starts overwriting them. So that gives us plenty of opportunity if it crashes to find the one that we want, our latest one. So go ahead and click OK on those. Now, another thing that I do, and you don't necessarily have to do this, is I like to use a light interface, especially for teaching purposes. You can leave yours dark, or if you want a light one, just go up to Customize here. And we're going to pull down to where it says Customize UE and Default Switcher. And then I'm going to click here, AME Light, and I'm going to set that, and that's going to switch my interface to a lighter interface. It's just up to you. You can use the light interface or the dark interface. Like I said, for lecturing purposes, I like the lighter interface because it shows up a little bit better. So I'm going to switch to that, but you can leave yours dark. That's fine. Okay, so there it goes. So I click OK, and now I'm set to a lighter interface. Now, one of the reasons I do that is because a lot of times I'm building with splines. So when I'm drawing with a spline, I want to be able to see the actual numbers on the vertices in here. So if I go to vertices and I come in here and I go show vertex numbers, these vertices will be numbered in here and they're in black. Well, if you're on a dark interface, it's hard to see those. And a lot of times, because the way I'm building with splines, I want to see that. So I go for the lighter interface. But like I said, it's totally up to you whether you use the lighter or darker interface. Now, another thing that we need to do is make sure that we're all operating in the same scale. So under your customize menu, there is a unit setup. We want to go into here. And by default, Max goes to generic units. We want to set it to US standard. And then right here, I want to set this to feet with decimal inches. Feet with decimal inches. Now, this doesn't really change the scale of our environment. It just sets what our measurements are going to be. Up here at the top, there's a system unit setup. And when you click on that, this actually changes what the size of our environment is. And for what we're going to be doing, let's go with 1 unit equals 1 inch. Let's go for that. So system 1 units is an inch, and then feet, US standard with decimal inches, and that'll be our measurement scale. That way when we're measuring things, everybody's on the same page. Okay, let's go ahead and just go save as now. Another thing I want to talk about is as we're working, we're going to be saving in multiple stages. So what Max does is it has a little plus button down here. So what it'll do is update the number on here. So at the top of my window up here, you can see it says week 1 because that's what I saved it. When I hit this plus button, now you'll see it comes back and it says week 02 in there. Okay, so it's just giving it extra number. So every time I save, I go save as, I hit the plus button, and then it gives it another number in there for me. So you don't want to just overwrite your same file all the time. You want to save with a new number. That way, if one file is corrupt, you still have another one in here. Okay. So that's what we want to do to initially set up our Max scene. Is we want to get our scale correct. We want to get mental rate set in here, and we want to set our project folder. And then we want to also go into our preferences, and let's go ahead and give us more levels of undo. On your general tab, more levels on to, and on your files, say more backups as it's working on it. Okay, that's what we need to do to set it up. Thank you.